victory time of 32, they've only won one game.
Right.
And FPX are 1 hour, 11 minutes. So if Rogue want to get into the upper bracket of that three-way tie, they have to win this game in 21 minutes or less.
Easy. Anyway, let's jump straight into draft because this is do or die for Rogue. Their destiny could very well be out of their hands. Well, it is out of their hands. But they need this win. And FPX, if they can get a win here, then their chances of making the quarterfinals suddenly get a lot higher because they need Damwon to win. So, without further ado, let's talk about what has been locked in because it's been a lot. Lucian Nami in the bot lane for Rogue with a LeBlanc in the mid lane for Larssen. So, when you talk about meta, when you talk about power picks, Rogue has gotten a stack of them, whereas FPX are answering with something we've seen a few times now into the Lucian and Nami, which is this Aphelios and Lulu, a lane that can actually get prio, a lane that can trade in the 2 versus 2 and also scales incredibly well. On top of that, Tian is on his champion.
Yep.
He has a skin for this. This guy is very talented on the champion, and Lee Sin, for LPL players, LPL junglers in particular, is a terrifying prospect. So, Rogue seem to have gotten what they want, but FPX have answered in kind.
As a new fan, we've been on the wrong side of Tian Lee Sin in the past. We'll see how well he can pilot it here. Of course, if they win, if FPX win this game, they guarantee themselves at least a tiebreaker 4-second spot. And if C9 are unable to beat Damwon, they would just take second seed out of the group no matter what. Xin Zhao banned away in the second phase alongside the Malzahar being removed from Doinb's pool. I like the removal with the amount of dashes. You know, Larssen wanted to get in on this LeBlanc, get rid of the Malzahar. Doinb's already shown us that he can play it at this Worlds.
I wonder if Rogue will also ban Lissandra. With Aurelia gone, Mal's gone, Ryze gone, and TF gone. Oh, they're going to remove the Galio. Okay. So what will... Oh, the immediate Sylas lock in. Now, of course, this can be flexed between top and mid lane, but Doinb is going to lock that in, I assume, for mid, for now. Let's see what the counter pick will be for Nuguri. Remember that last time around, he played Jayce into odoamne's Rumble. And he did a very good job. He did a very, very good job. But it seems that odoamne is once again going to put himself back on the Jayce, the safe top side. And the Fiddle is going to come through for Rogue. That sound of defeat already, Medic.
It's not defeat, it's just, I remember what they put me through last time they played the Fiddlesticks, and I'm not sure I can cope with it, but we'll see how inspired they would use this as he locks it in for the second time in the tournament. Kennen, the final pick, going over to FPX. Expectations are Nuguri will take that up towards the top lane.
I think this is such a good pick because the thing is, when you have a lot of mobility, the way you deal with that is crowd control, and Kennen's ultimate can be so effective, and Fiddle is going to do his job for him. Oh, you're just going to jump on top of me, and then I can also just ult on top of you? Nice. Sounds great. It's going to be some intense team fighting, and remember, Sylas can steal away Fiddle's ultimate as well. And while he doesn't have that many other great I suppose Nami ultimate is pretty good. Lucian, the culling also with AP scaling can also be pretty terrifying. I think FPX are a pretty solid draft. 2 of the 5 also have World Championships. I love referencing this. Like, there are so many World Champions in this group. It's crazy. So many talented players. And, like, you have to be honest, what we've been seeing from Rogue recently has not been stellar. They seem to have gone back to comfort. They've gotten themselves a strong 2v2 in the bot side of the map. They have odoamne on something that he can play relatively safe on. They have Inspired on his Fiddlesticks, but you're going against Tian Lee Sin. FPX have not won a game yet today, and you know that they are hungry for blood. They do not want to get knocked out at the group stage.
You know who else hasn't won a game yet today either? It's Rogue.
Okay, great.
The 2 teams who are 0-2 on the day so far, looking for their first win of the day and looking for that final spot in the quarterfinals. Damwon Kia well and clear of everyone else in this group. Rogue and FPX alongside C9 fighting for that second place.
Well, this is it. Do or die. Of course, as a reminder, FPX, if they lose this game, it's still not the worst situation for them, because they become Damwon fans. Yeah. And then all they need is Damwon to beat Cloud9. And then, if I understand this correctly, they will get a tiebreaker versus... Well, you get 3 with tiebreaker, right? That's the situation.
Yes. No, so if FPX lose this, and Damwon beat C9, we get the three-way tie at 2 and 4. Yes.
If FPX win and Cloud9 lose,
FPX are through.
FPX through. If FPX win and Cloud9 win,
we play a single tiebreaker between the two teams.
So basically, FPX they have good chances.
So if FPX win this, they have at least a tiebreaker. If they lose this, they have at least.
Oh, thank you for bringing up the standings.
Not guaranteed that they have a tiebreaker. Yes.
But of course, you're then you're then expecting Damwon to lose. Yeah. So
it's happened before.
Yeah, true. They did go 5-1 last year as well. So we'll have to wait and see. But in any case, for Rogue, it's a lot more dire. If they lose, they're out. Really simple for them. And if they win, then fate is not in their hands. We're not going to keep explaining this because right now, what matters is the performance of both these teams in this game. Neither of them have had the best day, but this is for all the marbles. So what will the pathing be? We got a bit of trading in the bot side of the map, but I want to focus in on the junglers because Inspired is going to do the double clip. We already talked about this the last time we got to see Inspired's Fiddle, but it's something that you can do. Your ability to clear 2 camps is what makes Fiddle's clear speed so incredibly strong. Meanwhile, Tian is actually going to start on the top side of his jungle.
Didn't even use his skin.
I know, it always upsets me when they don't. He's going to take out the red buff, he's going to do the Raptors, and he's going to path towards bot, where Lwx and Crisp should be able to get priority in that lane, but it looks like Nuguri is going to do the same thing up towards the top side of the map. odoamne is forced to play a little bit defensive. Level 2s are going to be very close. These next 2 melee minions will give the level up for Lwx and Crisp.
Last time Rogue and FPX played, Trymbi got caught out with that level 2. Crisp was on a Leona, a little bit easier to engage with than a Lulu, but you can see Hansama and Trymbi giving the respect due to the fact that Crisp and Lwx have those extra abilities. Nuguri chunked out a little bit by odoamne, but odoamne actually already quite low on mana, and with Kennen being an energy-based champion, Nuguri will be very willing to trade his energy for Odo's mana.
Yeah, Odo is likely going to be forced to back soon because Nuguri just popped his health potion just now, and having level 3 and also having a huge health advantage means that it's going to be very difficult to deal with in the straight-up 1v1, especially with Odo, as you rightly said, being very low on mana. Tian, though, working towards the bot side of the map. It's going to be a trade of jungle sides. Inspired can just use the fact that he has mid-prio in order to secure that top scuttle. And the good news for Inspired is he's not going to lose his camps at level 3.
Rogue tends to have a much more solid early game when Inspired is uninterrupted on his first clear.
Sure.
Something that is very often looked at as a way to shut down Rogue is say, okay, Inspired, we're going to invade you somewhere. We're going to take away a camp, going to take away your Krugs, just going to deny you something, and it can put Rogue very much on the back foot. Here, Inspired has got the full clear. He's gone up towards that top side Scuttle Crab. Tian already about 3/4 of the way through his base, and he will have a little bit of an advantage in terms of coming out back onto the map.
Tian, I like what he did there. Basically just hovering, because he was like, in the event that Inspired did a topside clear towards bot, there's a chance there could be a gank, so I'm just going to sit just slightly outside of vision, and if he shows up, then I'm prepared and ready. So good job by Tian. He's going to go back to base. He will be down to camp, of course, because Inspired did a full clear from bot side up through to top, and his Raptors are now already back alive, which means that Inspired, in theory, if they just keep farming the way that they are, they should be able to get that level 5, level 6 just that bit ahead. And meanwhile, when we kind of look across the lanes, everything pretty even across the board, except for Larssen in the mid lane, who's actually putting a lot of pressure down in the 1v1. And that's one thing I will say about Larssen. We criticize some of his impact in the game, but his laning has been pretty reliable. It's simply a matter of he hasn't been able to translate many of those leads into big dominating victories or impacts so far in the tournament.
With that ward across the wall, he will be able to spot out the fact that Tian was in the area. Lwx gets the root down here onto Trymbi, who's ignited, and Trymbi's just down. No heal on the side of Rogue. Trymbi oversteps.
And another 2v2 kill. You talked about it, Medic. The last time that they met, it was Crisp and Lwx that killed Trymbi, and now they just go and do it again. Inspired hovering around looking for a potential gank, but it's not going to result in anything. Trymbi still has all of his summoners up, and FPX find themselves with first blood.
You can see Rogue thinking, because they landed the Aqua Prism onto Lwx, that they could trade in, but Help Pick's shield plus the Guardian shield is an effective, 300, 400 HP on this Aphelios. There's the bubble. You think you can go in.
And they just got level 4 as well, so they have that extra point in the skill. He has 2 great guns for it as well. The damage is relentless. And while it is Crisp that ends up picking it up, you can see the frustration on Trymbi's face. Rogue not off to the best start. Not the biggest goal discrepancy, but with a Vamp Scepter already picked up Lwx, that's going to give him a lot more control over the 2v2 in the bot side of the map. So now, junglers are continuing to clear. We keep our eyes on the Drakes, which could be a potential option for Tian, considering this wave is going to... Oh, actually, it's frozen underneath the tower. This wave is in a horrible spot for Hansama right now.
Very difficult for them to reset that. Actually, looks like Crisp is working his way up the river. Tian down.
I mean, yeah, leave him.
Bottom side as well. Yeah, he's very happy just to farm this one up underneath the tower.
It will now start to slow push, because you can see the cannon minion's just about to drop. That wave is now stacking up, but the damage is done. You can already see an advantage starting to be built, and there was that small window, as you rightly said, where Crisp could look for a bit of a roam. So props to the FPX bot lane, doing a great job here in the 2 versus 2.
And it's the 3rd or 4th time we've seen Trymbi just struggle a little bit on the international stage. Of course, it is his first international competition. Last year when Mo came, it was Vanda alongside Hansama. So not too surprised there were a few nerves, but when you're playing someone as squishy as a Nami, you really need to make sure you're in the right position in these sort of trades. And even in the last game as Leona, sometimes just a little bit miscoordinated, uncoordinated, that's the word, with his team in team fights.
I mean, you got to remember the pressure as well. Like, Europe is struggling right now at the World Championship, and you know, every single team wants to represent Europe well. Europe has a pretty good showing internationally.
Yep.
When you kind of look, I think the stat that I heard was out of the 10 World Championships, Europe has made 8 semifinals, which is pretty crazy when you think about the history of the World Championship. And of course, in recent years, it is LPL that has been dominating with, well, MSI victory just coming off the back of it. Damwon securing the title last year, but still Suning making it all the way to the final, and LPL kind of knocking themselves out. Like, the LPL is considered a premier region right now, with all 4 teams right now expected to make it out of groups, and you can imagine that the same sort of pressure is sitting on the shoulders of FPX. Doinb was touted as the best player coming to this tournament, considering of his MVP performance.
There we go. There's the Growth Storm inspired, looking for Crisp underneath the tower, looking for LWX, but the exhaust comes out. There's the Guardian as well. Hansama low. LWX able to flash away. Trymbi's gonna die. It's gone horribly wrong for Rogue and all kinds of right for FPX. Fly, Phoenix, fly, as LWX able to survive for another moment. Larssen will tank up a couple of tower shots. They're looking for Crisp here as well, but they're just throwing more and more resources down towards this bottom lane, and Doinb is here for the cleanup. Larssen and Hansama trying to get away. Larssen low on mana, should have enough for a distortion. Hansama the same with a dodge to the side. The culling comes out, Larssen has to flash.
Oh my word. FPX's bot lane is just completely outplaying Rogue right now. The fact that this Lulu Aphelios was able to just tank up all that damage was massive. And I don't think Inspired actually got the fear off because of where he used the ultimate from, which means that so much utility was actually lost from that initial engage that he ends up dying to the tower. It was a poorly executed dive. FPX benefit once again, and now they're continuing to rack up the kills. So let's have a look at this. So I'm curious as to whether or not that fear did end up going up, because it applies when you come out of the fog of war. So he comes out here, yeah, no fear. So that double fear doesn't come through. That means Crisp can exhaust him, polymorph him, and shield LWX. All the meanwhile, the tower aggro then gets shared between the two.
And LWX has perfect guns as well. Severin for all of that extra sustain. You can see Larssen does manage to get the kill in the end, but and has to expend his flash on the retreat here. It's very hard to dive a Lulu if you don't CC her, if you don't get rid of the polymorph, if you don't get rid of the shield. Now, if you don't get rid of the wild growth before you go for the fight.
Whew. That's a tough one to watch. That was a tough one to watch.
Not if you're an LPL fan, I'll give you that one.
I mean,
bunch of balls at home, it's like, hey guys, this is flipping great.
I mean, but it's, yeah. In any case, right now, while Rogue do have the gold lead, they're getting a lot of this gold actually back from the plates that they're securing. They were able to get these plates in the bot lane. The good news for Rogue is that they actually burn all the summoners down from this bot lane 2 versus 2. Now they've caught Crisp out, but they don't want to overcommit, and that was a smart choice, considering Tian was sitting behind them. He, of course, secured the Herald as well, which means that they do have that as an option over the next few minutes.
We will enter a slight moment of pause here in this game. Currently, Larssen about 20 CS up in the mid lane, continues to put that laning pressure down. They know there's no flash on Lwx. They know there's no flash on Crisp here, so Rogue are looking for a play down towards the bottom side. Inspired has flash Crowstorm as a possibility. Tian is around the middle lane as Larssen dodges in, and now has to dodge away because Doinb and Tian are on the chase. Larssen, no flash, remember, from that culling in the bottom side. Dodges to the side, there's the Crowstorm in the bottom lane as Lwx will be killed off by Inspired. Larssen has been able to survive in the mid lane as well with a good distort away. However, this should be the Rift Herald coming down from Tian after you get a couple of plates.
Now, Larssen's TP is going to be coming up soon, but as you rightly said, a lot of plates will be secured out. I'm not entirely sure whether or not they will be able to secure the entire tower, but they'll definitely get a lot of good damage down and a lot of gold into their back pockets.
Important thing there from Doinb and Tian, walking back in to get that extra plate because the tower becomes tankier as you get through those plates. So FPX will be able to take down pretty much this entire tower. Tian looking for that final order. We'll take it. 11 minutes in. The goal now swings to the LPL representative.
So this is really good news for FPX because even though Larssen had like a 20 CS lead in the 1v1 and also got a kill, all of that gold influx back is going to benefit Doinb a lot. Now Inspired, he snuck his way into the lane. Oh, don't have time.
Oh, Lwx is dead again. Trymbi takes it. Importantly, none of these kills have actually gone over to Hansame 0-0-3 on this Lucian, but
what is happening in bot lane? I mean, that seemed like a big mistake from Lwx, but we didn't get to see the lead up, so I'm not entirely sure. Now Inspired is just hovering around the top side of the map.
If you guys do want to see what's happening in bot lane, proview.com/eSports. You can keep your eyes down there the entire time. Aqua Prism used onto Crisp once again. Tian is on his way down here. Hansame, look for the damage. Doesn't quite have it. Have to back away. Trymbi. Tian going for the kick here, has the Dragon's Rage still up. The ultimate from the Lee Sin available. Ebb and Flow healing on Summer. There's the kick, and Trymbi will sacrifice himself for this. Tian was looking for the AD carry, couldn't find him. Instead, just finds a little bit of a fish supper.
I think Trymbi could have just flashed there, is my opinion. But in any case, he doesn't. That will be another kill going over towards FPX. They will secure themselves the Drake as well, and they should be able to get themselves a couple plates in the bot lane, but look at Inspired is hovering around the fog of war.
It's a Crowstorm once again from Inspired. That's the angle he was looking for, and TP's coming out. They know there's no wild growth now for Lwx. Flash about to come off cooldown, but you don't even use it. Larssen takes the kill. Tian takes the Drake. And this game is a lot bloodier than I expected,
yep.
Vedi.
Both teams really just going toe-to-toe. And that was just a good utilization of the teleport there from Rogue. They knew that Doinb had already invested his TP bot because he was the one that picked up the kill onto Trymbi, and then Rogue are able to answer it back. So the gold's still pretty much dead even. The first items are starting to come through, mainly for Rogue, actually. You can see that first items completed for every member except for Trymbi. Meanwhile, FPX still working towards those items. Lwx investing in upgrading his boots early. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, oh yeah, look, Doinb just coming back out onto the map, still yet to get himself the Everfrost. So those kills kind of paying dividends for the side of Rogue. Also, Inspired running Futures Market, that's cool to see.
Definitely helps on the Fiddlesticks being able to go back, get yourself that first item. Sorcerers early on, and then after that, getting to the Rocket Belt can help out your damage and your pressure in a fight a huge amount. You can see he's already finished off that Rocket Belt, getting to that Mythic just a little bit quicker. Hansame chunked out. And there's the Ebb and Flow, and now Tian's on his way. Doinb looking to turn this one as Hansame and Trymbi are on the run. Both of them have the flash. TP only available for odoamne. Tian going in. Tidal Wave going wide. Tian looking for the damage. Sonic Wave dodged. Counter Tidal Wave. It's a Tsunami in the bottom lane as Hansame is left for the Wolves. FPX will collapse onto him. Meanwhile, Larssen can't dodge back because of the Polymorph, but is able to after it expires.
So 4 people invested bot from FPX. They are able to get a kill, and they're able to punish the aggression coming out from Hansame and Trymbi to equalize the kill score, but Rogue aren't really able to trade anything else on the map. Inspired just continuing to clear his camp. You can see Nuguri respecting the potential of a dive top, but now that window has disappeared, so Inspired instead just going to continue to pick up farm. Actually quite ahead of Tian in terms of experience and farm, but equal in itemization for the time being. Inspired now moving into the lane, but you can see Crisp and Tian also hovering around the top side of the map. This ward will spot him out, which means that no play is going to come through. I'm also looking at all these wards in the bot lane and the potential for a TP from Nuguri. Larssen, I think his logic was, the only reason why you'd engage on me is if you were planning on killing me.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's pretty good logic to sit with. Crisp chunked to half HP with a single shot blast. Inspired and odoamne will be able to walk this one away. However, Rogue may be looking for the collapse. No tidal wave on Trymbi. Hansama has the culling. Tian walking down the river here should be able to just safeguard to Crisp if he so desires. Second Rift Herald of the game. Started up by Rogue, but immediately they cease going for it as Hansama looks for Crisp instead. Sonic Wave's going to hit the Wild Growth use as well. Tian going back in as Lwx has a good position from the side here. Aqua Prism will hit, and both teams will disengage. Hansama did have to burn his flash to get away from that.
Yeah, he did. I don't know if he knew, well, he must not have known that Tian's ultimate was actually on cooldown during that small skirmish, which means that there was no way for Hansama to get kicked in, but Hansama's awareness was, if I get kicked in now, I will die, and that will be bad. So he chooses to flash instead. This will, of course, concede the Rift Herald. And you can see that Hansama's really trying not to slow down the aggression. I think the Inspired has been sitting in these bushes now for the last, like, 2 minutes, waiting for someone to overextend. And this could be the overextension.
Doinb stepping forward. Crow Storm available for Inspired. They'll wait for him to dash in, and there they go. Doinb feared immediately. And Doinb is deadly. Inspired on a killing spree.
How long have you been holding on to that one?
It's a really bad one, let's be honest.
All right, Larssen is going to secure the bot tower. Doesn't have the TP, but Tian should be able to just dash out that one. Ooh, they could deny the eye here. Nope, they're not going to.
They know that Kennen's coming up. Nuguri is on his way, and so they were like, we don't really want to take a fight into a Kennen when Larssen doesn't have TP. It would be a 4v4, but we don't have the Tidal Wave, we don't have the Crow Storm into a Slicing Maelstrom. It's just a bit of a difficult situation to be in.
Okay, so credit to Inspired. He has been very active on the map with this Fiddlesticks. When he brought it out the last time against Darm1, they basically didn't let him clear his jungle camps, and he was very limited in what he could actually do on the map. But in this game, he's been allowed to farm, he's been allowed to set up ganks, and he's made use of the pressure that a lot of his lanes have been able to generate and have been finding successful lane ganks. You know, he sat in that brush top lane for like 2 minutes, but it really did end up paying off when they get themselves that kill onto Doinb. They didn't convert it into anything else though, and now the dragon is spawning in 30 seconds. I imagine Inspired's ultimate will be up and available, but FPX are all in a great position themselves. Items are now being completed, TPs are up, and I expect some action to happen around this neutral.
Importantly, shield bow available for Lwx alongside the Wild Growth and his flash and exhaust, so he is going to be very healthy through this fight. Doinb has himself a stopwatch, so if that fiddle comes in, you can just pause the scary movie and wait for it to go away.
So, the thing I will say is Rogue's comp has a lot of mobility. The Rogue's comp has a lot of mobility. So the thing I was thinking about is Kennen ultimate and Fiddle ultimate will be massive in the upcoming fights. But if FPX engage first, just trying to threaten the tower right now.
Jayce wants to talk about this. Safeguards away Rift Herald. Chunked out just a little bit. Inspired came in to make sure that that tower couldn't fall. Rift Herald now down.
Okay, so the main point that I want to get to is that Inspired's ultimate is going to be really important, but Rogue's ability to re-engage, if they can avoid the Slicing Maelstrom, I think is something that is worth keeping an eye on, because things like Lucian and LeBlanc and the Jayce speed gates as well, there's a lot of dancing in and out you can do with this composition. So I think Nuguri's positioning is going to be really, really important as to whether or not he can find an impactful ultimate that can swing the team fight.
Rogue deciding to give up this dragon. They knew that FPX were in the area. Instead, they say, okay, we'll take some gold in the side lane. We'll get the tower in the top lane for odoamne. FPX very happy to lap up that dragon and put it along that ocean in their column. Cloud Soul is the possibility in this game. Neither team, well, both teams will be happy with it, but it's not as impactful as something like an Infernal or an Ocean is often seen to be.
I think that the bonus movement speed that you can get, you know, we already talked about the potential mobility on Rogue's composition being a big deal. I think bonus movement speed can also help with that.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimate ability haste is never something to be sniffed
at,
you know?
Especially when you're running Fiddle and Kennen. Those two very, very important indeed. But it's been a bit of a, what's the word? I was going to say timid or trepidatious early game, but I don't know if trepidatious is the one that I want.
Is fine, yeah.
But it's been like very back and forth, you know? It's not been like explosive or dramatic, it's just kind of been an exchange here and there. We'll trade up here, we'll trade down here, we'll give you this, we'll take that. And so the gold has stayed relatively even. Of course, Rogue has been able to turn it into a gold lead, largely because their kills have been going onto their mid laner and their jungler, and they are up in towers right now. But No, I think that's kind of my point.
Yeah, that was
my
your
summary. I was going to say, like, but FPX have all these things, but I mean, Drake's is the big thing, I suppose, right?
And they did get the Herald, so they were able to, you know, chip away at those towers.
Yeah, they have been playing very well around the neutrals, where I feel Rogue have been a lot more focused on securing themselves things like the towers instead. But now, the thing is, these towers are now up for FPX to claim back for themselves, and they will equalize the towers, pick up some of that standing gold, 300 into the back pocket of Doinb. He's working towards his Zhonya's. And Rogue cross-mapping in the top side, but I don't think they'll be able to secure this. But it's funny because this reminds me of the classic Rogue that we're used to seeing from the regular season, right? The Rogue where you would leave odoamne in a side lane. He is just responsible for staying alive and doing his best, and going even. Whereas they play a lot more around Hansama, and then they try and unlock Larssen a little bit in the mid lane, and that's exactly what they've been doing. And so far, it's working quite well. But here comes the TP flank.
Rogue immediately starts to disengage. Tian on his way, TP flank. Do they know? Now they do. Doinb backs away, and everyone will get out safely. So that's a TP expended from FPX.
Yep, and that's a big cooldown now, because they have to send Nuguri to match odoamne in the bot lane, which is fine. But Rogue have the option to play through 3 lanes now rather than just 2, because they know that they can always create a numbers advantage thanks to the TP that they have. And they could be looking for another pick. They've snuck their way in here. Oh. There's
the Sonic Wave. All of them hide. They wait. Doinb maybe the target. There's the Tidal Wave Crowstorm combination! And it's a tsunami of devastation for FPX's Tian falls.
Anyone that has played against Fiddlesticks knows how annoying this champion is, because the moment his ultimate comes through, you just feel like you're permanently CC'd. You cannot move. The follow-up bubble from the Nami also locks down Tian, and he doesn't even get an opportunity to flash. So now Rogue, with the numbers advantage once again, with the pressure that they have in the top lane, they're looking to take the tier 2 tower, but Inspired is keeping his eyes on the potential flank from doing it.
As a note for any supports out there that are wondering, why does Nami keep chucking Aqua Prism onto Hansama, even though, you know, he's walking away? Does give movement speed, and Hansama might need a little bit of that as he has to get away from this. Doinb going in with a Crow Storm stolen away. Doinb pops the stopwatch, and Trymbi goes pop. Double TP now invested by Rogue. They look to try and catch out this Sylas. Larssen dives forward, can't get the chains to connect, and is polymorphed as he went in. FPX find a kill.
Huge interrupt there from Doinb. It was Rogue's bot lane just trying to back right in front of his face, and they immediately punish him for it. That was double TPs invested as well, and Nuguri chose not to match because FPX could immediately disengage. So great punish. Nuguri, though, he's just used his E.
He also knows that odoamne is there. Larssen looking for the damage. A flash from Nuguri will get him to safety. It is, with 50 seconds on the Drake, that could be a game changer.
Kennen's flash is so pivotal to his success as a champion, because it gives you that access onto the backline, which is really what you need. When you're flanking, you can leverage your flash to be able to take these crazy paths in order to get behind. So I'm curious as to when Doinb actually used the ultimate, because that was the part that oh, so he interrupts it and then immediately throws it out, saying, you know what, I'm happy to stand in melee range with both of you. Good stopwatch here, because he knows that the culling could very well have killed him. And then Larssen, he's a little afraid to overcommit because of Lulu, and so ends up not trading back the kill.
He does get polymorphed as soon as he jumped in there. FPX showing there's still a fight in them yet, even though Rogue were able to get a kill on the top side. FPX now strike back, 2,000 gold between the two teams, and FPX in a very good position to continue stacking these Drakes.
It feels like a very even game.
I think it is. I mean, we're talking like 40,000 to 39,000 gold, like it's basically nothing between these teams.
Yeah, and of course, right now you see Rogue with the kill score, lead rather, Rogue with the tower advantage, but FPX, I still feel like they have so many strong team fighting tools, in particular this Lulu, and it's this Fiddle. Well, I talked about it earlier, but I think this Fiddle is going to be so massive in determining the outcome of these fights. Can you get a good fear onto the support of FPX to mitigate what utility he can offer? Can Tian kick the Fiddle away? What will the Kennen ultimate do? These team fights are going to be so crazy in FPX. They're going to start off the Baron. There are no blue trinkets left on the side of Rogue, and they have no vision.
Starting to step forward. Larssen's going to try and dodge in here. Ultra's coming out. Doinb was in the right position there. Tidal Wave coming out. Counter Tidal Wave used by Trymbi. Doinb jumps onto odoamne on the back line. Tian's going to go in there as well. odoamne able to survive. But there's the fear! And here's the Crow Storm! Rogue look for the follow-up. Doinb able to assassinate one on the back line. And now it's on Hansama, odoamne, and Larssen to kill off Lwx and Crisp. You've got no wild growth. You've got no flash, you've got no exhaust, you've got no life. Lwx sniped by odoamne.
And Rogue come out ahead in the team fight. FPX try and use the Fog of War to get themselves a pick. And it looks close because Nuguri's, oh, that was such a good Kennen ultimate. He was nearly able to swing it, but Larssen was actually so healthy, and the moment you realize LeBlanc is alive, you realize that this team fight is not winnable. We've been talking so much about these team fights, and we finally get to see it. But Rogue, in this new Axe Effect replay, is just showing constant respect. A good ultimate there from Trymbi. Doinb gets onto odoamne, but look, he gets kicked away. He gets taken to safety, and then the inspired ultimate. Two-man fear onto Crisp and Lwx. I mean, he gets access onto the backline. Nuguri does the same thing with his Kennen, and then it's just a range difference. Larssen and odoamne can leverage their strong poke. While they are a little afraid to check the fog of war, they know that they can find themselves a couple kills, and while Chris does get away, Rogue walk away with a teamfight victory, and now a 4K gold lead.
No Baron take for them off the back of it. They did get the Cloud Drake, though, stopping that stacking coming out from FPX. Let's look at where we are in terms of items. Muramana stacked up for odoamne alongside that Eclipse. Double Void Staff complete on the side of Rogue with Inspired and Larssen looking to chip away at the FPX health bars.
So, Medic, let's very quickly remind people of the stakes of this game. If Rogue win, then they can create tiebreaker situations. It's not entirely up to them, because if Cloud9 can win later, then this whole tiebreaker situation can disappear. But you see that if Rogue win, they can create a tiebreaker situation.
A three-way tiebreaker.
If FPX win, then at minimum, they get themselves a tiebreaker out of the group. But Rogue need this win to stay in the competition. FPX still get more chances even if they lose.
Very true. Unless, of course, C9 are able to take a win against Damwon in the next game, and then...
Point is, these games are very interesting.
Rogue are out if they lose. FPX can lose and still be in, but could lose and be out because of C9. We'll see how the North American third seed play for the rest of the day, because so far they have been exemplary. Tian caught out by Hansama. There's the culling, but the minion wave will block it. Hansama has to settle for 40 gold instead of 300. Rogue, though, setting up here is Inspired, has the Crow Storm, doesn't have the vision that he'd want. Lwx backing away. Chris stepping forward, vision going to be cleared out.
But just look at this vision right now. Thank you so much, Observers, for highlighting it, because it is complete darkness for the side of FPX. They want to enter to check the Baron, but Fiddle is lying in wait. He is the nightmare in the dark that you do not want to face check, and it makes it so difficult, because who face checks? Typically, that's what you leverage your melee supports for, but when you find yourself behind with the range support, it becomes so much easier to get caught out and get picked off.
Inspired gets spotted out with that sweeper with the Scryer's Bloom. That's the one as Hansama looks for the mid lane tier 2. That will fall. Rogue get their 5th tower of the game, 4,500 gold ahead. And Betty, this is the sort of position where Rogue time definitely starts to play a factor. They have a substantial gold lead. And we have seen them lose games from positions like this before, but they are doing it by the numbers, setting up vision, setting up a control ward line. Larssen here. We'll see if Tian pokes his head a little bit too far forward as he goes for the Razor Beaks. FPX, of course, have fought back from positions like this before as well. World champions only a couple of years ago. This year been disappointing, to say the least, to watch FPX, who, going into their finals, many people thought of as the best team in the LPL. Many people looked at them as the favorites, that they should 3-0 EDG. And since then, it seems like it's been more of a downward trajectory than anything else. Hansama looking in. Crisp has the flash. Tidal Wave coming out as well. Doinb's in a good position to the side. There's the Tidal Wave putting out, but Hansama able to dodge to the side of it. Root coming out. Moonlight Vigil onto Hans. Here comes Inspired once again. Looking for Lwx already as Crisp is down. Larssen diving in. Larssen shut down. And now the slicing Maelstrom finds 2. Hansama has to get away. Doinb and Nuguri holding the hopes of FPX on their shoulders as Odo, Hansama, and Trymbi try to surround them.
Ends up being a 2 for 3 for the time being. Hansama still lives. Odo goes in.
Doinb has the stopwatch Eclipse coming out from odoamne. Doinb dodges away from the Aqua Prism. Nuguri and Doinb can do this. They have the health advantage, but Rogue will back away. Hansama will heal up off this blue buff.
We talked about those ultimates being so crucial, and Nuguri came in clutch for the team there. We're going to get a replay to see exactly how it all broke down, because initially things looked great for Rogue. Lwx and Chris once again got chunked out so low, but let's have a look back and see how things happen. So Hansama starts to fight off by chunking down Chris, forcing him out of the fight. Then the re-engage comes through. Larssen is coming in from the flank. Hansama takes a lot of damage, and then here comes the ultimate from Inspired. He flashes in, fears up Lwx, immediately cleanses that one, trying to disengage. But then look at the damage here from Lwx and Doinb. They lock up the LeBlanc, immediately kill him, and then the flash from Nuguri. We talked about how important that is, but he patiently waited for the right moment, dives onto the backline, and forces all the summoner spells out. Now, there are no flashes basically on the side of Rogue, still 3 available for FPX.
FPX have that summoner advantage coming into this next fight. Gold still 5,000 between these two teams. 20 seconds on our next battle. You have to think it's a Cloud Drake, and actually, FPX might be willing not to take that fight. They don't need to, they don't have the vision. Really, Rogue get a second Cloud Drake, who cares at this point in the game? FPX only want to take fights on their terms, and we saw in that last fight, because Inspired just couldn't get multiple fears off, how they were able to turn it around.
I mean, they positioned quite well, FPX, to force Inspired to have to use his flash as well, but that's now Fiddle flash gone, and Kennen flash gone as well. So positioning is going to be really important in these next few fights. Oh, and the death cap is now completed. 3 items finished for Hansama. Infinity Edge on top of Lwx, but the crucial thing is 2 level difference between the AD carries. Nearly 300 farm there for Hansama. And odoamne, props to him. Rough tournament, but great game so far. Completed his 4th item, a little bit more magic resistance. But look at this fog of war, the pings come down. The spidey senses from Rogue are tingling, and they will not fall for the trap. FPX still showcasing they are a great team fighting team. They always have been, and they cannot afford to be underestimated. The pings coming down. Rogue feel that this could be another trap, and they're going to use a blue trinket to spot it out.
They know that it's happening. They know that Lwx is still on it. odoamne clearing out a control ward. Inspired trying to get into darkness here as Doinb steals away the Crow Storm. Trymbi has the prison, has the tidal wave as well. Hansama not here, but look at where Kennen is. Look at where Nuguri is. He's in such a good position to flank here, but Hansama spots him out. There's the culling. Nuguri was waiting in the wings. The Crow Storm from Doinb is going to come in, but immediately he managed to take one instead. He is popped in response. Hansama with a beautiful Ardent Blaze spotted the fact that Nuguri was waiting in the wings.
That's a worthwhile trade if you're Rogue, though. Support for mid laner, that sounds like a great trade deal. They could threaten the Baron, but right now they just have their eyes set on the mid lane. They know that they have the damage advantage. They still have Fiddle's ultimate. Nuguri the same, though. Oh, look at the poke coming out from odoamne.
Nuguri has no stopwatch. Like, he hasn't got Seekers, he's got no armor, he's not that tanky. If you can chip him out like this, he does have to reset as Inspired looks for Tian. There's the fear, stopwatch popped. Larssen going in as well, Lwx with good guns. Mikhail's was used by Crisp in that fight. Doinb has TP up in 10 seconds time. Rogue will disengage. Inspired about a quarter of that cooldown back before the Crow Storm comes. And now Nuguri TP's in. Doinb has that TP as well, and FPX are pulling the trigger.
It's such a good decision from FPX because they know that a lot of ultimates were just used by Rogue. They're trying to burn this down with the Aphelios, and you know that it dies quickly.
Tidal Wave and Culling are available. Trymbi could put that wave into the middle of the pit and corral FPX to their dooms. Tian's half HP, he takes the Baron, but can they take the fight? Doinb jumped on immediate exhaust onto Larssen, he's dead. And now it's all on Hansama and odoamne's put the damage down. Nuguri is on the chase. And FPX actually don't have to go for this one, but they're looking for more. Stopwatch coming out from Inspired. Doinb does the same. Nuguri takes the kill. FPX get Baron, get 2, and get out.
And Rogue, they had overcommitted in the mid play. They spent so much trying to get that kill onto Tian that he just walked away spotless, and then knowing that they had the TP advantage, immediately rotate towards the Baron. They have an Aphelios who's going to melt through that objective. The positioning was not great from Rogue, and they caught them while they dropped the ball. Beautiful decision there from FPX to put themselves back in the driver's seat and get a lot more gold into their back pockets.
That willingness to make a split-second decision is something that exemplifies the LPL, something they've done so well over the last few years, and here FPX use it to their advantage. Only 2,000 gold between the two teams now, and FPX still have 2 minutes of this Red Bull Baron power play to play with. Let's have another look at this, because Larssen tries to get in. Tian jumps out onto Inspired.
And you can see that Rogue don't have any easy way to get in there because Inspired doesn't have his ultimate available. Tian just tries to zone odoamne away with his ult, and then look at the CC that comes down onto Larssen. He even gets kicked in the air to maximize that utility to prevent him from being able to dash back. And then FPX are able to find themselves 2 kills. Now pushing with the Baron, they're making their way towards the base. I thought initially that they would just use that ultimate to buy themselves a little bit more time, but no, they want to push, they want to get as much out of it as they can. And look at that, plus 3k gold for FPX. They are definitely back in this game.
And the big thing as well is FPX now with priority in these lanes can push up and can get deeper vision. They can spot out where Inspired might be flanking, where he might be coming from, because as we mentioned earlier, and as we saw in the bot lane play, if you do not stand out of vision, that does not fear. That Crow Storm does not fear your opposition. HunSummer, though, maybe trying to catch FPX napping a little bit. They will be able to back away. And those Baron-empowered recalls helping FPX defend their base.
So Rogue doing what they can, knowing that FPX was trying to secure the tier 1 top tower, which they should still get. They're going to steal away a lot of these jungle camps, keep the waves pushed in, and try and stall out this Baron buff for as long as they can. Really important to note that Doinb 4 items, level 17 now as well. The fact that he was able to do so much in that last fight was massive. And I think that the big player that FPX have their eyes on right now is HunSummer. Level 16 on the Lucian, nearly full build. He is a terrifying damage dealer. Level 17 now.
I mean, it was this lane, this matchup, the Lucian Nami that worked so well for them against Damwon. It was HunSummer who kept them in the game. HunSummer has been Rogue's standout player this entire tournament. I don't think anyone would ever doubt you if you said that, and now so much weight rests on his shoulders, but also inspired. That fear, if it connects, can do so much work here. Cloud Drake up in 1 second.
Look at how FPX positioned. They try to stay away from the areas that they don't have information on and are always playing around their own vision, so that if Inspired tries to engage, as long as he doesn't have his flash, there's no way that he's getting on top of him.
Larssen's actually gone down to the bottom lane here, knowing that FPX decided to work towards this top side of the map. Larssen thinks he can get another wave shoved in towards that tower. Will not take it. Instead, he backs away.
And this is really big now, because the QS is now picked up for Lwx. Also, you still have the Mikhails sitting in the back pocket of Crisp. So that fear power is now much weaker than it was earlier on. Inspired, he will still have a lot of damage at his disposal with the Void Staff being completed, but this Kennen is the other thing that is so terrifying to play into. Rogue's chances looked great. They looked really strong, but after losing the Baron, after FPX have reclaimed so much more control, it really does feel like FPX is the one driving this game.
The game has been back and forth like a yo-yo, and now FPX, as you say, feel to be in the driver's seat, even though the gold is still in Rogue's advantage. Rogue, obviously, if they can find another one of those team fights from 10 minutes ago or so, they can win this game. You have to get a good fear off. You really have to catch Crisp in that fear. Otherwise, the QSS and the Mikhails will start to come up clutch for Lwx.
Thing is, this Lulu Aphelios, I think, is just so strong at this point in the game. Level 14 for Crisp, 16 for Lwx, 4 items now completed on him with the Runans in his back pocket too. Lwx is now such a massive damage dealer. Before, yes, his positioning, a lot of fights he just spent basically running away, getting poked out, but now I think that he has the utility to basically go to toe-to-toe with many of the people that are trying to dive on top of his face. So when you add a Lulu on top of that, FPX's team fighting is only going to get scarier and scarier. For now, Rogue is just looking to control the area of the Drake. There are no objectives on the map. The Baron spawns in about 1 minute and 5 seconds. I think that Inspire is looking to get level 16. So, final point in his ultimate, a lot more damage at his disposal.
There's a ward sitting just around where Rogue's tier 1 would be in the middle lane that is giving him a lot of information, giving FPX a lot of information about how Rogue are positioning, how they're moving around the map.
Also a potential flank ward as well.
That's what I was thinking.
Both Nuguri and Doinb with the TPs. Same for odoamne and Larssen. Very tense game right now.
That's some
damage.
Though.
That is damage. Yep. odoamne.
I mean, it's the issue with not having too many tanky stats. Like Lwx, Crisp, Nuguri, all of them will take huge chunks from the accelerated shock blast. Now, 25 seconds on the Baron, Vedi.
They should still be able to get back to... And Lwx can just heal all that. Watch. Here it comes. There it is.
Oh, a single order. Oh, no, it's back.
Yeah. So Lwx isn't too phased by that.
I mean, the thing with Infernum and Severum is people will see a single auto attack basically heal you to full, and it's actually 5 auto attacks, right? Because you're dusk waving and getting all of the Severum procs out of it. Larssen able to dodge away from this one. Crisp, whoa! That's support life for you, baby. As Crisp is chunked down to half, Larssen look for the damage here onto Nuguri. Doinb steals away the LeBlanc ultimate. Where is Inspired? He's in a good position.
Very far away. I don't think this is a good position.
No, he's going to go all the way around, Vedi.
Yeah.
He's going to go all the way around. That's what he's looking for. Lwx has to flash away. HunSummer with the culling. Inspired. Out of vision. Now he steps forward into that control ward, and FPX will know where he is. Importantly, though, Lwx, no flash now for this next fight. Baron going to be started up by HunSummer. Warding Trinket in there. Cleared out. Inspired. Stepping into the darkness once again as Rogue start this
I
one
don't
up.
think
The wave in the,
FPX
yeah, it looks like FPX are just saying, okay, well, we've got a wave in the mid lane. We can just push for this, and Rogue
Wait,
may be
they're just
caught
gonna-
flat-footed.
They're going to give up the Baron? Wait,
No,
they're not
Rogue
even going
have
to do
stopped
the
it.
Baron?
They have to get back, because otherwise FPX could just walk this into their Nexus. FPX called Rogue's bluff. Rogue wanted them to fight, and FPX say, nah, we're cool. We can just go for the mid lane.
Here comes Fiddle, look at Fiddle, look at Fiddle.
Fiddle in a good position, crisp low. There's the wild growth. That's what they were waiting for. And here comes Fiddle once again. Dives onto the backline, looking for the damage here. Nuguri is down. Crisp is down as well. And Rogue may have found their fight. They may have found the moment they were looking for. FPX run straight down the middle lane. And Rogue run them down.
Massive team fight for Rogue as they end up acing FPX. And can they end? They're TPing up towards the top side. That is 50-second death timers. They have a wave at their disposal. Rogue is looking to make the tiebreaker world a reality. They are not going to give up getting out of this group just yet.
C9, of course, could upset every European's hopes and dreams in the next game if they take down Damwon Kia. But if Rogue win here, they equalize at 2 and 4 with FPX and with Cloud9. The Nexus in their sights. 7 seconds on Chris, 15 on Lwx. Do they have the wave? Do they have the time? Do they have the ability to take down this Nexus? Because I've seen Rogue over today struggle to do it, but today they fight back.
FPX fall short. They make the decision to try and run down mid and end the game. And it is Inspired's Fiddle that comes from behind and is able to get the collapse. They fought well. They made a lot of great decisions and they nearly came back into this game. But FPX find themselves 0-3 in the second half of groups, and Rogue will be able to eke out a victory and keep their chances of making it out alive.
Keep the chances of that three-way tie alive as well. It was a close one.
Crazy close.
So tight between these two teams, basically nothing between them, but it felt like FPX made a great move to go for that mid lane inhib, but just maybe a little bit too greedy to go for more afterwards.
But it's crazy to think about that FPX, one of the tournament favorites, the second seed from the LPL, is struggling this much.
Yeah.
When they were at Worlds in 2019, yeah, they dropped a game here and there in the group stages, and then they picked it back up in the best of fives, but I don't think anyone anticipated this level of performance from FPX. And now, Cloud9 has everything
They've got it in their hands.
If they can do what no one in this group has done yet, if they can take down Damwon Kia, the reigning world champions, they can make it out of this group as the second seed and make their way into the quarterfinals. If they lose, they still find themselves in a good position, because I'm pretty confident, based on that, 40-minute game.
Cloud9 should be favorites coming into that.
No, but
oh yeah,
what I mean is
Cloud9 will be top seed.
Cloud9 will
100%.
be top seed because it's based on your
Victory.
total victory time. Yep. And so Cloud9 have pretty fast wins, and Rogue and FPX do not. So they will move on, and then Rogue and FPX would have to play, and then the winner of that would end up playing C9 for the final spot. So NA, things are looking great. It's all in your hands now.
It's just Cloud9 things. They're so consistent about making it out of groups. While we wait for Damwon Kia versus Cloud9, you can check out Rogue's pick